Okay. So in the second chapter, there are a lot of discussions happened between Arjuna and Krishna. Krishna talked about the soul, and Krishna also talked about why Arjuna has to fight, even just for the material benefit. And then Krishna advised Arjuna to fight as a matter of duty. And and on hearing all of this, Arjuna wanted to understand who is that person who has all these qualities. Then Krishna talked about some of the characteristics and qualities of a self-realized soul, that is Sthita Prajna. Then coming into the third chapter, actually, Krishna or Arjuna did not separate these chapters. The Acharyas have separated these chapters into 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita. So since this chapter talks about karma yoga, karma means work and yoga means connection to the Supreme Lord. How we connect ourselves to the Supreme Lord by doing our duty. So that is the purpose of this chapter. So if you see the yoga ladder, it starts with karma kanda portion where we work for sense gratification, we work for us, we work for fulfilling our desires. That is the first rung or step of the ladder. Okay. And the next step comes the karma yoga. Karma yoga where we work with detachment, not attached to the results. That is the second rung or second step of the ladder. And next comes Jnana Yoga. So by doing Karma Yoga, we slowly um, develop detachment from the material point of view, and our knowledge and consciousness increases, and we step away from the material things so much so that happens in the Jnana Yoga. We understand our position. And then comes Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is when we do devotional service to the Lord. But this is not like we have to progress from Karma Kanda portion to Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. So this is for normal, common people who are struggling to get into the Bhakti Yoga. But in general, for devotees like us, the main thing is getting into the Bhakti Yoga directly. It is like a lift, right? Either you can go step by step to the third floor or fifth floor, or you can take a lift and do Bhakti Yoga and surrender to the Lord. So this portion um, will also help in our day-to-day life. How do we work with the detachment, not get too much attached to the results, and focusing uh, on just our duty. So Arjuna started asking, "Hey Krishna, you at one point in time you talked about a lot of shanti, 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 peace process, how the Siddha Prajna is always peaceful, and you also asked me, not to do any abominable activities. Hey Krishna, I see this war itself is an abominable activity. Why do you want me to do this war?" Then Krishna understood that Arjuna is confused because what Krishna meant abominable activity is doing any activity for selfish purpose is an abominable activity. Okay, but actually Krishna meant, you know, use is karma yoga. He wanted Arjuna um, to be a karma yogi, that is, work with detachment. Arjuna thought that he does not do anything abominable activity and he can go to forest and become a jnana yogi. No, Krishna wanted him to do his duty and become a karma yogi. Okay, because
ரோடு கைட்ல எல்லாம் க்ளீன் பண்றான். இதுல எல்லாம் டர்ட்டி ஸ்னோ அது இதெல்லாம் இருந்ததுல.
okay, so um, um, so Krishna started talking about karma yoga. Krishna says nobody can just sit quietly. Nobody can stop working. Everybody has to do some work. Inaction is unnatural, you know. But some people will say in India, right? They quickly go to become sannyasi, or they without any proper training, without anything related to the parampara, guru parampara, they just do it on their own. But their senses will always be focused on sin subjects. So Krishna is calling them as pretender or mithyachara. Okay. And then Krishna talked about do any action, any activity, duty as a sacrifice to the Lord, as a sacrifice to Vishnu without attachment. So Krishna is taking the Karma Yoga to the next level. First, he said, do it with detachment. But he's saying, do it with detachment at the same time, offer the results to Vishnu or Krishna. Don't get too much attached. Now, there is a slight twist here. And Krishna think, how many people will suddenly take up Krishna consciousness? How many people will suddenly, you know, go to Krishna? Then Krishna thought, okay, um, he gives us other options. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita always gives a lot of options, and then he lets Arjuna to choose the best one, whatever Arjuna likes. Krishna never forced Arjuna throughout Bhagavad Gita. He will always present options, and Krishna will choose the best options. Okay. And now Krishna is saying, now if one is not at that level to surrender to Krishna, if one still has a desire, they are not able to be working with detachment. They still have desires. Krishna said, hey, you go to the Devatas, because this when the world was created, right? And at that time, everyone is empowered, or the process of yajna is also created along with the creation. So you worship the demigods, devatas, and they will reciprocate. So yajna here, as is an umbrella term, it could mean worshiping the either a devatas like Indra, Chandra, and other devatas, all below Krishna or Vishnu, and doing your prescribed duty, those type of thing. And Krishna says that you will please the devatas, and they will give you whatever you want. And at one point in time, Krishna also says, whatever we eat, before we eat it, you offer it to the Lord so that you will be freed from sins, right? That is why we have the concept of eating prasadam. Um, and then Krishna talked about the cycle of sacrifice. Um, so, as I mentioned, this is more of karma kanda portion, just trying to please the devatas. And then Krishna will, in the seventh chapter, Krishna will say, you know, just worshipping the devatas, is uh, is not supreme. Worshipping me is the most supreme, right? Only the people who do not possess very high intelligence, they will go and seek results, immediate results from the devatas. But the people of high intelligence will always worship me. Krishna will say that in the seventh chapter. Now, for a brief moment of time, if who is not surrendered to Krishna, he is talking about, okay, at least you bend your head to somebody, you just worship the devatas, right? Krishna says, you know, uh, we are all made of food, grains. That grains come from the rain, and the rain comes from the worshipping the devatas, doing the sacrifice, etc. And those activities are all present in Vedas. But who gives the Vedas? Krishna has given the Veda. So it is like a cycle. Ultimately, we depend on Krishna. That's what Krishna is trying to reinforce here. And the other point Krishna says, but one who does not understand this cycle, one who does not offer anything to the Lord, he lives a life in vain, right? He leads a life full of sin, right? One who does not understand the cycle of sacrifice, cycle of reciprocation. Krishna says this there's a cosmic cooperation between us and the other devatas who take care of universal affairs. Krishna mentions it is not just a universe, it is a universal government. You get a lot of things from the devatas, you also reciprocate. Then, it's a good two-way, a transaction, because the government provides everything, we pay tax, right? And we follow the rules and regulations. So that is a reciprocation. Likewise, the devatas, everything give to you, you also reciprocate to them. Okay, Krishna is saying now here, but in the other chapters, Krishna, in the upcoming chapters, Krishna will say, okay, you don't have to follow any other devatas. You just follow me. I will take care of you. Okay, you don't need to do any other rituals or anything. You just follow the bhakti and surrender. Okay, and so okay. Now this is what we have stopped last week. Um, okay. So this is another. I think we have read this shloka. We did not go in depth. So Krishna says. So um, Krishna here. So far, Krishna has been saying you have to work. You have to be duty bound. You have to do your prescribed duty. And then now is switching it slightly, tweaking it. He says, a self-realized soul need not work, but he works. You will say here in these two shlokas, he says, a self-realized person need not work, but he will work. Yeah, there are a few things. Can you get me the pen on the top, on the left? See, thank you. There are three things. Those who are Atmarati means who has pleasure on himself, on the self. That is, he realizes he's a self-realized person, means who understands that he is the spirit soul and he is a servant of the Lord, and his duty is to reciprocate to the Lord, to develop love towards the Lord, to do service towards the Lord, right? When one understands that his position, constitutional, eternal position, right, then he's a self-realized soul. That is what, Sanatana Dharma is also like an umbrella term. The other real meaning of Sanatana Dharma is, Sanatana means eternal. Dharma means a duty. Our eternal duty is to serve the Lord, being a servant of the Lord. Like that is our eternal duty. Like for example, the dharma of sugar is being taste, sweet. The dharma of salt is, salty. The dharma of um, uh, anything like a fire is hot. Likewise, the dharma of the spirit soul is to serve the Lord. That is Sanatana Dharma. So here, one who has realized the self, right? There are three atmas who takes pleasure in the self is called as Atmarati. And because of realizing the self, he is Atma Tript. He is Tripti. No, Atma Tripti, we say Atma Tripti, right? He is satisfied with himself. And then he says Atman Santushtaha, who is satiated, who is happy with Atma. So these are three terms he's using. For those self-realized person, they don't have any duty. They don't need to do. Why they should not do it? Because only when somebody has a desire, they have to work. Only when they have a material desire, they have to work. But these self-realized souls, they don't have any material desire. They don't need to work. And that's why Krishna is saying these three type of, the self-realized soul, they don't need to work. In the previous sloka, we say it is Indriya Rama, right? Here, Atmarati. It's also called as Atmarama. One who takes pleasure in the Atma is also called as Atmarama, but one who takes pleasure in the senses is called as Indriya Rama. And again, Prabhupada explains that, it's similar, but when you take up to Krishna consciousness, when you become a devotee of the Lord, when we work in the consciousness of Krishna, everything, whatever we do it with Krishna consciousness. That means, though we work, literally, it is not like considered like a work. We don't need to, we will be working in the material platform, but it is still not just for our pleasure. We are doing it for the pleasure of the Lord. And so the same here. A self-realized person has no purpose to fulfill in discharge of his prescribed duty, nor he has any reason not to perform, nor has he any need to depend on any other living beings. Because one who is a self-realized soul, Krishna takes care of him. We see a lot of people, the sannyasis or brahmacharis in different sampradayas, they are being taken care. And not only those people, even the grihasthas, one who are self-realized, they don't need to depend on anybody because they always fully surrender to the Lord and Krishna takes care of them. So this is a nice, um, here there is a story about King Purushottama Deva in Puri, Jagannath Puri. I just want to highlight that story. What happened? Purushottama Deva was a powerful king in Puri, Odisha, and um, he was um, he was about to marry a girl from Kanchi in the south. But when the girl and his father went to Puri, at the time, this Purushottama Deva, that family has a culture of, you know, before Ratha Yatra, they used to sweep, even now, they sweep the road with golden um, sweep. Okay. And and the girl and his father saw this scene. And the father said, that the father is also king of Kanchi. He said, I'm not going to give my daughter to a sweeper. And he said he returned back to Kanchi. And then Purushottama got very upset. He did not worry that he rejected him, but he worried that he is doing a devotional service to the Lord, but he has become the king of Kanchi has become more faithless, right? He did not believe that it is a service to the Lord. He is not like a sweeper. He is doing a service to the Lord, but he is considering it as a very cheap. So he was upset, but he wanted to teach a lesson to the king of Kanchi. So he invaded Kanchi, and the first time he lost, the king of Kanchi won. He was surprised. No, I'm fighting. I'm not fighting for myself. I'm fighting to prove that the king of Kanchi is wrong. Then somebody told him, "Hey, king, did you get the permission or did you get the blessings from Lord Jagannatha?" He said, "Oh, that is the thing I forgot." Then he went to uh, Jagannath Puri temple again, and then he prayed to Lord Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra Mai. And then they said, "Okay, now you go, you'll win." And then he again invaded Kanchi, but this time Lord Jagannatha and Lord Baladeva, it is said that they came in the white horses and then fought for uh, Purushottama and they won the battle. And then King Purushottama said, "Since you insulted me as a sweeper," he said, "King of Kanchi, you understand. I instruct you to marry your girl to a sweeper." And the King of Kanchi was, felt very bad. And his girl was a very good girl. And then a minister of Purushottama Deva told, "Okay, King of Kanchi, just please wait. I'll take care of this matter. Don't worry." They were so scared that they need to, marry the queen, the princess of Kanchi to a sweeper. So the time came during the Ratha Yatra, the king again took the golden brush, and then started sweeping the road. And then the minister of Purushottama brought the king of Kanchi's daughter to the place. "Hey, King Purushottama, you said you instructed that you wanted the princess to marry a sweeper. I cannot find a very good sweeper than you. So as you instructed, uh, you marry her." So he cleverly did that. So though the king does not need to do anything, but he is doing the sweeping just to, uh, just to set an example. So yeah, I just want to say this story since I see this picture. Okay. Now, okay, we have to go to the this new shloka. Anybody wants to recite it after me?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll recite.
Thank you, Mataji. Tasmad asaktas satatam
Tasmad asakta satatam
karyam karma samachara
karya karma samachara
asakto hyacharan karma
asakto hyacharan karma
paramapnoti purushah.
param apnoti purushaha.
Thank you. Can you read?
Therefore, yes, therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty, for by working without attachment, one attains the supreme.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So here Krishna again states that he told two cases above. One was self-realized, they don't need to do work, they don't depend on anybody. They are Atmarati, Atmatripta, and Atma Santushtaha. But they will still do the work. Now, therefore, without being, they will still do the work without attached to the fruits of activities. As a matter of duty, by working without attachment, one attains the supreme. Here, there are two different meanings of supreme. There are two type of people. One is, personalist and impersonalist. Personalists are the ones like, all the four sampradayas, Vaishnava sampradayas, Sri Sampradaya and Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, where ISKCON belongs. ISKCON belongs to Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya and Nimbarkar Sampradaya. And fourth one is, Kavin, do you remember what is the fourth Sampradaya?
Rudra Sambradaya.
Rudra Sampradaya, thank you. So these are the four Sampradayas. So Sri Sampradaya, where, in the south they are followed, and Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, right? That started in the Bengal side, that is Gauda Desha. And the third one is Madhva Sampradaya, Nimbarkar Sampradaya, and fourth one is Rudra Sampradaya. Okay, so they all consider the Lord, Supreme Lord, as form, right? Kalyana Gunas, form with all qualities. But the other Sampradayas, right, they consider God is impersonal. God is everywhere, but impersonal. So, here the Supreme refers for the impersonal is the Supreme refers to liberation to the Brahma Jyoti. So there is a Lord, okay. Yes, race. Yes, is effulgence. Okay. If I tell you clearly, there is a sun. Okay, sun rays, and uh, this sun rays is like effulgence, right? The impersonals think that this effulgence is itself a Brahma Jyoti, right? It's all Brahman. The God has no form. Okay, and the next level is disk of the Lord, a disk of the sun. Um, the jnanis, those who do, a lot of tapasvi and everything, they see the Lord, inside their heart. It is like a sun disk, right? Sun disk. But devotees think, uh, believe, devotees are sure, not only sure, it is said in the Vedas and as well, the God has a form, and within the sun, it is said that Lord Surya Narayana is inside the sun. Like that is what devotees see. So the impersonal see the rays like Brahma Jyoti, and the other jnanis see the Paramatma within the heart like a sun disk, and then devotees, wanted to see the Lord with form. So here there are two meanings for supreme. For the impersonalists, they want to go to the Brahma Jyotis. For the devotees, they want to go to the Vaikunta. Okay. Okay. This is about this shloka. Okay. This is also a very nice shloka. Anybody wants to recite this shloka? Anybody? Nirmal, Pranita, Mataji, Nirmal Prabhuji, Kaushalji.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Karmarnaiva hi samsiddhim
Karmanaiva samsiddhi
आस्थिता जनकादयः
आस्थिता जनकादया
लोकसङ्ग्रहम् एवापि
लोकसङ्ग्रह एवापि
सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि.
सम्पश्य कर्तुमर्हसि.
Okay.
Kings such as Janaka attain perfection solely by performance of subscribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work.
Thank you, Bruce. So here Krishna says, even if one attains self-realization, I know after doing the karma yoga, they have to still do it, the duty, as a matter of duty, to set an example. Sure, Vimal. Thank you. They have to do it as a matter of duty, right? Janaka is a great king. He is also called as Raja Rishi, right? He's a self-realized soul. He always thinks about Rama and Narayana, and but he still does his duty to set an example for so that the people in his kingdom follow him. I think his kingdom was called as Mithila. That's why his daughter Sita Devi is also called as Maithili. Um, and here Krishna is also saying, um, even Krishna and Arjuna, they don't need to do the war. Arjuna is not interested in doing war, but Krishna made Arjuna to do this war as a matter of duty to show that violence also has its utility, right? In the Sanatana Dharma, right? We always say ahimsa, but the real meaning of ahimsa means violence. Ahimsa means it is not non-violence. In our Sanatana Dharma, ahimsa means controlled violence. All right. So nobody can be non-violent in the sense, when you brush teeth, our body is always constantly attacking the germs, everything. But as per our Sanatana Dharma, everything has its utility. The ahimsa is also controlled violence. That's why Krishna recommended that Arjuna does his prescribed duty as a Kshatriya. Another thing, here since we are talking about Janaka, there is a story about Janaka. Though King Janaka has a lot of it's a big kingdom. He is very wealthy. He has everything that he required, but he always maintained a life of a rishi or saint. There was a set of brahmanas who came to his palace, and they were wondering, you have all these opulence. How did you manage to still maintain your devotional service? You are not even deviated from your devotional service to the Supreme Lord Narayana or Rama. But how were you able to do it? So Janaka said, you come tomorrow for a feast, I will show it to you. And all the brahmanas came next day. And they were sent to a big hall. And the brahmanas have seen all sorts of fruits, vegetables, sweets, and everything. And then when I turned their head up, they found a big knife. It was tied to a hair of the horses pointing down. And below that, all these brahmanas have to sit and eat. The brahmanas could not enjoy their food. They were fearful, scared of the knife, and as soon as they ate in a hurried manner and they came out. And then Janaka was sitting outside, and Janaka said, "Have you enjoyed the food feast?" They said, "No, I could not. We could not enjoy. We are always, you know, in the mode of fear constantly. Our consciousness is full of fear. We cannot enjoy." And Janaka said, "That is how I live. You live in the fear of consciousness, but I live, uh, you know, uh, I'm constantly in love with the Lord. I'm constantly meditating about the Lord. That is why all these bogas, all these opulences do not look very attractive to me, right? Just like when you are under fear, you are not able to enjoy anything. But I'm in deep love with the Lord, devotional service to the I do devotional service to the Lord. I chant their holy names, holy name of the Lord. I always meditate about the Lord. So I don't find these things very worth. Like I said previously, Atma Tripti, right? And Atma Rat is always, pleasure in the self, Atma. So um, they don't need to go outside for any pleasure because they are always constantly in connected with the Lord. That is one. Um, just for the sake of educating the people in general, um, you should perform your task, right? So another thing why Krishna is telling Arjuna is that if Arjuna feels that he want to go to the forest and become a jnani, the people in his kingdom will also follow the same. If there is any crime or anything is happening, they may not fight for it. They will just, okay, no, Arjuna also did not fight, I did not do anything. We will also do the same thing, right? So though Arjuna is matured spiritually, he still has to do his prescribed duty. Otherwise, the people will follow him and he will blame him for anything that happens. That is the reason it is always, better to set the right example. Uh, that is what our Acharya says. Um, uh, right. And yeah, let us go to the next shloka. And the another thing here, now Krishna himself did all his duty in the upcoming shlokas in this chapter. He will say, in the three worlds, I don't have any activity to do, but I'm still doing to set an example. Um, okay. Next is so regarding okay, I forgot to say. So Krishna, though he was a charioteer for Arjuna, he will stop the horses in between in the battle, in the middle of the battle. And Arjuna will say, Krishna, please go. I need to chase the enemy. Krishna will say, no, 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 I cannot do that. As a charioteer, as a Sarathi, I have my primary duty is to take care of the horses too. You need to give some rest to the horses. And then he will give water to the horses and he will make them rest. And then he will continue. And even at the end of the day, right, when everybody goes to the camp, Krishna will take the horses and feed them and put them in the barn, and then only he will go to his camp. And the same thing, when he was a king in Mathura, right? He has a palaces for all the 16,108 queens. And he will be replicating himself 16,108 times and taking care of his duty as a householder. He will also take care of his children and he will do all these activities to set the example. Okay. And okay. This is the last shloka for this week. Anybody wants to read this shloka?
I will read, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
As in, I'll repeat after you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Yadacharati Shrestha
Yadyad acharati shrestha
Taddad Taddad Eve Taro Janaha
tattad evetaro janaha
Sayat Pramanam Kurute
sayat pramanam kurute
Lokas Tadanu Vartate.
lokas tadanu vartate.
Oh, sorry, I did not put the. Okay, here it is. Okay. Can you read this translation?
Yes. Whatever action a great person performs, common people follow. Whatever standards he sets, the world pursues.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So here it says, whatever great people do, whatever action they do, the common people follow. And whatever standards that they do, they set, the world pursues. You know, here Prabhupada says it is like, if you are parents, then we have to set some examples for the kids to follow us. That I heard over on one of the conversation, a junior devotee or one of the person was asking, visiting um, a sannyasi, um, Maharaj, I'm I've been asking my son to chant every day, at least one round. He's not chanting. Um, that sannyasi was staying in their home for a few days, and then in the third day, he was surprised, and then the sannyasi was asking the devotee, um, "So in the last 3 days, I've been staying in your home, but I never saw you chanting. But how did you expect your son to chant?" And that person said, um, Maharaj, since I'm very busy with my work, I could not chant myself. But that is the reason I want at least my son to chant. That the Maharaj said, that is a very wrong example. You chant first, and seeing you, your son will chant. Likewise, we grahastas, the kids, closely follow us. Um, if we follow certain standards, we behave by examples, they pick up very quickly. And also here, Prabhupada explains, all these behaviors of the great people, or even for us, it should be based on the Shastras, right? Everything should be based on the Shastras and the scriptures, not whimsically doing anything. In this regard, okay. And we also see, right, nowadays, and not nowadays, 20, 25 years back in South India, the way the Rajinikanth smokes, right? A lot of people have become smokers because of that, the way that he smokes in his style way, right? So, and then 20 years back, he stopped smoking in the pictures, you know, because he realized that people are following him. So the acharyas here explained that's the reason, the great people, particularly the leaders, not only the leaders, everyone, right? We have to follow, standards. We have to set by example through our behavior, so that the people who depend on us, they follow us what we do. Um, um, you know, in that regard, I just want to say a story. Um, So it happened during the Akbar Birbal time. There was a king of Persia who sent a note to Akbar. Uh, My dear king, you are quoted as a very nice, wise and witty minister, Birbal. Can you send him to my kingdom? So Akbar sent Birbal to the Persia, and but the king of Persia wanted to trick Birbal. So he had set up is a look-alike. He found 9 other people who look very similar to him, and then dressed them as the king. And then they were all sitting. All the 10 people were sitting in a row, and there is only one real person, real king. And Birbal came, and the king wanted, the king's minister informed Birbal that he has to identify the king. And the Birbal was looking, and within a second, Birbal identified the king. The king was so surprised. I spent few days in dressing up all these people, and you identified me so quickly. How was it possible? And Birbal said, "See, whatever the great people do, the common people follow. See, you were looking at me, how confident I am, and I found that you are very regal and you are royal. And I found all the 9 people were trying to watch you and see what you do, and they were trying to replicate the same thing. So likewise, then I identified you as a um, as a real king. So likewise, here Krishna is asking Arjuna that you are like a celebrity, you are like a military person. You know, to maintain the track record, you have to continue your duty so that the common people will follow you. You know, if you just go to the forest and give up all the work, common people will also, when there is a fight, when there is something goes wrong, they will leave everything and then go. So that is not a right example. That's what Krishna here says. Uh, you know, uh, Common people follow a great person. So the great persons, have a responsibility to teach the people by example, by their exemplary behavior. Okay, that's all I wanted to cover here. Um, any questions so far? Any realizations? Any comments? Okay, I will ask, and if you don't mind, I'll ask each one of you any takeaways from this class, from this session. Who wants to go first? Any takeaway from this session? What you learned today?
Prabhuji, one thing that everything was like nothing I knew, so everything was new to me. Because yeah, so uh, I knew that story about this one, Raja of Kanchi and
Okay.
this thing, Puri Jagannath, Puri, this thing,
Yes.
the Maharaja. Yeah.
Yes.
So one thing that I learned, and it is a bit
Please.
eye-opening for me now,
Please.
is
Yeah.
about what you said about ahimsa.
Yes.
Yeah, that Sanatan stands for controlled ahimsa. So we
Yes.
should know, like how you said, we should know how to use it for the general good. I
Yes.
mean, yes. I mean, there is a line between when I'm using it for myself and when I'm using it for the general good, or,
Yes.
like that controlled ahimsa. Yeah. So that was a very, something which I did not know at all. That, because I used to think that ahimsa, the word itself, it means no himsa at all.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that was like a very big takeaway for me. And yes, like, yes.
For sure, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
That's a
thank you
very
so
great.
much. Yes.
Yeah, I think there is a book also in Sanskritam. One person, I don't remember, I think he has written all those Sanskritam words that are sometimes misused. So one of these words is ahimsa.
Yes. Hmm.
So yeah, thank you. That was a very
It's
great
it's
point.
it's it's mi- mis it's many of the words are misused. Like people, they just use it as per their convenience.
Yes.
That is, yes, that is wrong. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good point. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you.
Who is going to go next? Uh, how about Pranita Mataji? Do you want to share your takeaways or anything that you found
Yeah.
interesting? Yeah.
So what I understood was that we should do our duty without detachment. The example that you gave about Janaka Maharaja was he was a king and he had all the comforts. He was surrounded by comforts, but he lived a saintly life. So that is how we should conduct ourselves in daily uh, activities. So
That's a
that
great
is
point.
So that was interesting. And one more doubt I have is, you gave the example of King Purushottama, right?
Yes,
He waged a war against the king of Kanchi.
yes,
But in his first attempt, he failed. He was defeated because he did not surrender, like he did not pray to Lord Jagannatha first. But then, doesn't God already know our intentions, what our intentions are? So if the intent is right, why was he failed in the first attempt?
oh, that's a great question. Um, See, always um, there are two things. Krishna or the Supreme Lord reciprocates how much we surrender, how much we surrender to the Lord. Um, it is for example, in terms of Draupadi's, when she was disrobed, she thought that she could protect herself. She tried with both the one hand. Then she tried both the hands. Then she tried with her teeth, right? And then called all her husbands, 5 husbands. She called all the Astinapur king. Nobody helped. Till that time, she think that she can do on her own. But when she realized that she cannot do it on her own, then when she called Achita, Govinda, Dwaraka, Nitya, she took her hands off. Then Krishna came, right? The type of surrender, the God, the Supreme Lord Krishna or Narayana expects. Sometimes the reason is what the question that you asked. There is one more story. Gajendra Moksha story. I
Yeah,
think.
I heard about it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So Gajendra um, was previously Indradyumna. When he was meditating, he left his kingdom. He was meditating in a hut, and then Agastya Muni came, and the king was in meditative mode. He did not welcome the king, welcome Agastya. And Agastya was angry. He said, Indradyumna, you are behaving like a mad elephant. You forgot me. You became an elephant in the next birth. And then Indradyumna became an elephant in the next birth. But in that birth, the he has become a Gajendra. Gaja means elephant, Indra means king, king of all the elephants. And he was still having the memory of Lord. And then one time he went along with his wives and everything. He went into a lake, a pond. At the time, a crocodile caught hold of his leg, one of his leg. It was caught hold of his like anything. And the Gajendra fought for 1,000 years. And then uh, after 1,000 years, Gajendra started calling, um, uh, started saying, "Who is the? I'm praying to the Lord, who is the supreme, who is the cause of all causes." And then he started his prayers. That's a very beautiful prayer. And then Lord Vishnu or Narayana came in a lightning speed. And then Garuda came and he sat on the Garuda, but Garuda was slow. And then Lord Narayana took Garuda on his hand, and then he flew. And then whenever the Lord starts, out of his palace, there will be a lot of processions, everything. He said, "I don't care anything. I don't need anything. My devotee called me. I want to go." He took the Garuda and he came there, and then he took his Sudarshan Chakra, and then he wanted to make sure that Gajendra's leg is not getting caught too tightly, or um, the crocodile was catching like this. He cleverly hit the jaw of the crocodile with his Sudarshan Chakra, and then crocodile did like this, and then he took it. Gajendra took his leg out, and then Lord, seeing his devotees bleeding, he took his uttari, right, chadar or whatever we can say, and then put it on his bleeding part. And then Mahalakshmi said, after he returned to the Vaikuntha, Mahalakshmi asked him, "So he is your great devotee. You call, no, why didn't you go?" And then Lord Narayana said, I've been more painful than him for 1,000 years. I was waiting for him. I, I want to go. I will go when he calls me. But sometimes what happens is we all want to do it ourselves, right? That sort of ego, right? That is called as I can do it. If we have that, right, Lord does not come so quickly. But when we surrender to the Lord, when we think everything can be done by the Lord, we can even get victory and everything through Lord, right? When we have that surrender, then Lord reciprocates very nicely. Does it make sense, Mataji?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you,
is. It's
Prabhuji.
not like it is also a part of Leela to understand, to make us understand. Now, Krishna will not leave us like that. He will also give us the knowledge to call him. And for his
Okay.
devotees, right? It is not like he will leave us. Okay, my devotees, suffer. He will also give us. He will wait for us, but even if you don't call, he will give us the knowledge to call him
Yeah, yeah, because
because
in
everyone
day
has a
to day
willpower.
life,
Sorry, Mithil.
yeah, yeah, because in day to day life, if something comes up, right, we try to solve it by ourselves generally, right? We don't
Yeah,
resort to God always.
right.
So, I mean, that's how the conduct should be, is what I was thinking. First, let me try, was the approach towards problems, right?
Yeah, we can do that. But when our consciousness improves, right, we say, okay, Krishna, I'm trying to do this. Whatever, if you give me, if you desire so, give me victory. Otherwise, I'm fine. That means if I fail in this effort, that means you're going to teach me some lesson. Let me learn that if you desire so. That is the next level of bhakti. As we progress in the bhakti, you try to incorporate, bring in Krishna so frequently in your life that becomes, then the life becomes more Krishna conscious. Then you constantly think Krishna. When you start your work, pray to Krishna, Sarvam Krishna Paramastu. When you do something, I've heard some people, when they go to a meeting, they say, I want to run this meeting successfully. There is a conflict here. I don't know how to solve this, but, Narsimha, please help me. Right? Like with just, these are the ways that we improve our consciousness. We bring in Krishna to our life very frequently.
Understood,
But of
Prabhuji.
course,
Thank you.
Krishna, even the fight between right Arjuna and Pandavas and Kauravas, Krishna can do it just like that. But he wants Arjuna to fight, right? Krishna will bless. We have to do our
Understood,
duty, but listen to Krishna and be on the side of Krishna. We have to still do our duty.
understood, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hope that makes sense. Okay. Anybody else wants to add? How about Kaushal Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. So, yeah, like I have also read previously about Rishi Janak, like Raj Rishi Janak, and I'm really impressed by his, like, the way he conducts himself and the way he does his duties. I'm aware about that. I've read it previously about him as well, how he conducts him in, like, as part of Ramayana series also. I saw it. I've
Okay.
read about him as well, like is the way he conducts himself, the duties he fulfill while being as a king as well, but he still lives a simple and normal life. So very impressed with his character.
Okay. That's a great point, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Anybody wants to add any points? Any other takeaways? I wanted to continue that Namarva story, but I know it is little late. But next week I'll try to cover. I'll shorten the session because understanding listening to the stories of the Arvars or the people of acharyas, a lot of Mahatmas, in the Maharashtra or in West Bengal in different parts of India, you know, uh, you know, understanding how they approach their life and what they did. It always rejuvenates our consciousness. So I will explain. I will share some of the stories of Namarwa next week. If nothing else, I think thank you for giving me the opportunity for your association. And this also helps me to go through the Bhagavad Gita in depth. If I made any mistakes knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive me. And I pray to Lord Shri Radha Sham Sundar to bless us all with Krishna Bhakti so that we can continue in this path and chant his holy name every day. Hare Krishna. Shim, Shrimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I request everyone, please, if you could, if possible, please chant Hare Krishna Mahamudra. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.